Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode. The Woodpreneur podcast is proudly sponsored by Acres CRM. Acres CRM is the wood industry's only customer relationship management software dedicated to helping you automate your sales and marketing so that you can focus on serving your customers and growing your business. You can visit acresoftimber.com to learn more and to schedule a demo. Once again, that's acresoftimber.com. Hey, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve. Today's guest is Derrick Radford from Radford Woodworks. How you doing, Derrick?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking.
I'm glad to have you on. So tell us your origin story. How'd you get started in the Woodpreneur game?
Well, it really started when I bought my first house and we were looking for furniture, and there was a lot of items that we wanted, and at the time were kind of expensive. For my taste at that moment, and I kind of felt inspired that I could probably create something that looked kind of similar to what my fiance was wanting. So I went ahead and undertook the kind of task of trying to create something that I saw on the internet and was pretty successful. Posted it online and got positive feedback when I knew I had something.
What's your background?
My background is sales. So I'm a salesperson. I've been a logistics broker, outside salesperson, mostly just face-to-face sales for the most part. So I just decided to kind of switch the lanes a little bit.
And now you do this full time, right?
Yeah, I do.
We connected a couple months ago on Instagram, and then you recently came to our Indianapolis meetup. And so I remember you told me that, tell me the story about how you like how you became an accidental full-time woodpreneur. Tell that story.
I mean, I guess there was a little bit of decision to be made with it, but I mean, just like I said, with just having the opportunity to create something for my home and then put it online, people were asking about it and saying, "Hey, can you make this for me?" Or
tell everybody the story about how you accidentally became a full-time woodworker, because I really love. I remember you sent me a DM and woodworking took over your life, and as a result, so tell that story.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody experienced the pandemic in different ways, and one of mine was being outside sales. We'd had a little bit more time being at home, so I'm a great salesperson. I know I can sell things. I was able to kind of get their metrics without having to take a lot of steps in between. But the company ended up buying some CRM, which kind of required us to kind of show that step-by-step path, and my sales cycle was a little bit shorter, and I didn't have a lot of, prospects in that, but I was able to turn them into customers. And through just not doing their process, they decided to part ways with me. And my knee-jerk reaction was thank you, honestly, because I was spending most of the time at home working and building things, and I would run inside and hop on a meeting, and then go back out in the garage, and then come back.
Close a sale. You close a sale. You make it happen.
Literally close a sale, come back in, maybe go visit a site, and then get back to what was really feeding my heart. And once that moment happened, it was kind of like, well, I was already kind of thinking this, but it's usually going to be my decision. And there's no better time than now. They made the decision for me, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, things are working out very well, and I got a plan, and I've got a supportive family and spouse, and that's kind of one of the bigger parts of that.
So at what point did you realize, before that happened with the job, at what time did you realize that you just you know what, I think there's something here? I think there was a little bit of an inkling, because you know how sometimes you get the you get the visions, right? You get the visions. What was that vision, or where was that first moment that you had that vision?
That it was probably, that you could. Well, yeah, I would say probably maybe 2 years ago. It was right before a vacation, and I sold a table for $2,300. That was, I mean, I probably paid maybe $700 for it. And at that time, I was just like, this is I'm turning this raw material into this. It took me maybe a week to produce, and I was happy every moment of doing that. And I figured if I had more time to devote to that, I could multiply that. And I was like, well, I mean, I believe this is something that can be sustainable.
And what kind of table was that? What was that project?
It was a knotty pine. It was honestly, it's probably like a 8 foot long by like 42-inch wide knotty pine table. And I think they sent me a picture offline from a particular website. Like, can you do something similar to this? And and another big thing too was with the delay with COVID, everything was 5 to 6 months, and it just gave me an opportunity to kind of just recreate things for people in a time where that patience wasn't there for some people because they've been in the house all this time. They want something and they've been looking at this empty space and they want it now. And to have it to be done local just added a lot more value to them.
You're in Indianapolis.
Correct. Yeah.
Were you born and raised there?
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. And so how did you just keep learning? Like, are you like a handy person? Are you like, did you grow up?
Yeah, I'm a handy person. I would say my father was an electrician. And one thing I saw him do is we took a lot of trips growing up and he would leave and go install a ceiling fan or a ceiling light for somebody and come back and have a little extra change. But he worked for Indianapolis Power and Light. But he would always have a side hustle or something like that. So I saw him using what he learned with his hands to kind of create like extra income. And that's kind of how I added it to the side. And I knew that, I mean, I guess I was already getting paid really well, but I knew that just wasn't filling my cup up all the way, really.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, like if you think about it for a very, like, you think about it for a moment, you're like, it's really amazing that you can take this material, which is in massive abundance, like there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be overlooked. And really, you put your own twist on it, you put your love into it, you put your hands on it, you're physically creating something and it's gonna last in somebody's house forever. Isn't that a bugged out idea?
Yeah, I mean, and I listen to your podcast a lot and just hear what people say. And I've stole lines like, just even when selling, just like, hey, this is something your kids are gonna fight over.
Yeah.
It's like, and then when you're able to drop that, it just adds so much value, and people just kind of don't think of it that far,
Yeah. And it's so different. I'm very much, obviously, me, I'm an advocate for handmade, custom made furniture, heirloom pieces and stuff. And so it's very fascinating. So, all right. So you parted ways with your company. Did you like start from zero? Did you have jobs lined up? Like,
no,
walk us through, because it's fascinating that you've been able to hustle this.
So,
I don't know you like that, but like,
yeah,
it's admirable and it's amazing that you've been able to make stuff happen like this,
Yeah, so I've been doing it part-time for probably 3 years and understanding things are cyclical. So knowing January is around, people are coming off the holidays, going into Valentine's Day. I knew that was not the best time to be saying, hey, let's buy this $3,000 table for people. So what I used that time for was just knowing that, hey, I've got these bonus checks that are gonna come in for these residual deals that I've made. And I can use this time to kind of get the back end of things going to where, hey, let me do my admin stuff. Let me get these accounts created with QuickBooks or these companies that kind of help me just kind of keep things in line. And I knew that as soon as the first 65-degree day happened, as soon as the spring kind of got up on us and people are moving to new homes, those opportunities would come and they would be looking in the places where I kind of plant my seed set.
Were you scared?
No, I was excited. I wasn't afraid at all because, I mean, it's just about creating.
Because you knew you could get another job, right? Like you knew you could.
Get those things come. Yeah, like people are handing out $70,000 a year, but what kind of peace of mind do you have, or like how happy are you doing it? And if you can make that or more in your own schedule, I think that's going to be a win for sure.
Did you have savings?
Yeah, I had a little bit of change. I didn't have 6 to 12 months on hand, but I had
you had a little bit enough that if it didn't go the way you'd like it, you could just hop in and get another job.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I had probably more than that, but I wasn't afraid of that because I knew that I just knew because this understanding, like coming from the background of sales, knowing the process, knowing where to find the people that I wanted. And I know people, it's springtime, people are ready to move. My fiance is a realtor. As soon as the spring gets here, people are gonna be buying houses and they need new furniture generally.
They've been listing it in the late winter, early spring anyway. Then they're selling and they're moving. So you have a moment, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't afraid of that. And it's probably ridiculous, but that's kind of got me in the situation I'm in now. And I think things are happier, but now I'm just kind of continuing to kind of plan.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what are you making? Like what kind of product services you doing?
My main thing that, like, I know one of the main things that I got to learn from you is having 1 to 2 main core products that you are known for. And my whole thing is a dining table. That is my first thing. If you're going to eat food, where are you going to eat it at? You're going to eat it at a dining table or a coffee table. So tables is generally,
Tables. Yeah.
boom, is that. And then the second thing, so yeah, entry table, any table, but mostly dining tables. And then my second thing I'm trying to hop on trend with is the feature walls. We're doing things like that. I think the
Accent walls, feature walls.
Yeah, the margins are
Those
amazing there.
that's like a sleeper right there, especially if you can. I saw some of your stuff. Your stuff is nice with the board batten style. That's and you're doing the install, or you letting the client do that?
I'm doing an install. I've gotten great reviews from that. I got partners, I have buddies that I have great friends that are kind of go with the flow people, and they believe in me. So I'll say, hey, you got a couple hours to help me do this? All right, they can come and help me do that. I got friends that help me do deliveries. And then eventually I'll get them on full time because they're gonna be my friends, and yeah, they're gonna believe, like, and they've seen the process.
That's cool. That's cool. What's been a challenge so far?
I would say time management.
Yeah.
At first I was waiting on things to happen, then things happened, and now it's like, all right, let's get these things going. Then I opened up another company of general contracting, which is a whole nother beast, which I've kind of had split time from. And now I'm like, okay, time versus reward on these things. Let me figure out how I need to kind of split my time up. So just
where did the GC stuff come from?
Well, my fiance is a realtor. I have always liked to kind of improve things. And I've got a partner who's a realtor, and he's got an investor, and he's got main general contractors. But he's like, I've bought so many properties that I just need stuff done on like small things. Maybe I'm not asking you to tear a wall out, but we might need you to refinish some things or stuff like that. And I figured that being a broker in my background, I could subcontract out a lot of these jobs and kind of have it flow. Just make some phone calls, show up when it's complete, show up while it's happening, and kind of get things going that way to kind of supplement what I'm trying to build here.
Yeah. And how's that going?
It's going pretty well. I mean, I've had to even advertise that side of things, and just having an investor there, that's been just like kind of a guaranteed seed that's going to continue to grow for a little bit, that I haven't put all my eggs into, but I really like the potential that it can kind of bring with, not to sound like a realtor, but the lack of houses people are moving to, but people are stuck renovating their homes that they're currently in. So if they can't move somewhere, they want to make the home they're in better. So if we can kind of improve that space they're in, I feel like that's a great opportunity as well.
So tables is your main thing. How much time are you
Mhm.
splitting between the GC stuff and
Man,
Radford
this
Woodworks?
last 2 weeks, I've been slacking on woodwork. I haven't delivered a table in 162 hours at a week. So it's been too long before me delivering a table. So I've been slacking, but this next week is going to be filled with deliveries, and I'll get everything
You have
myself.
orders, you just need to complete them.
Oh yeah, I've got things that I'm waiting to deliver, and then I've got things that I'm ready to complete for sure.
What's your setup? Do you have something like, is it garage or you have a shop?
I've got a garage, and I mean, people will think they couldn't do what I do inside the spaces I have, but I saw that picture of like what Amazon and Disney being in a garage, and I'm like, I guess that's software. I got a lot of big tools, but
Yeah.
I think I can make it work. But man,
Cool.
I'm resourceful. I mean, I use my resources as far as like shops around me that I don't have a drum sander, but I know that I have access to one, and just kind of building that in the pricing and moving things around. My next move, my next move is to refinance my house and put like a cottage house, like garage on the back, to where I have that
In the
space.
back. Sure.
Yeah, and then from there get a bigger space, but that'll help my home value before we move in all that other stuff. But yeah,
I can imagine you're probably much happier now than at your corporate job.
Yeah, I mean, I was just being fake. I mean, I want to say I was being fake because I love talking to people,
Yeah.
and I
You
was
weren't
like,
living
kind of,
your authentic self.
yeah. I mean, I got to go into places. My job was like houseman. I got to go see like manufacturing and like cool facilities, but I didn't like just sitting down, just like emailing people and like protocol and you changing rules and just having a. Yeah, I was just like I
Yeah.
can create my own destiny with my own thoughts, and I don't need to have
Own
to
ideas, and
own ideas. Yeah,
you're building your own wealth, and you're building your own legacy and not somebody else's.
yeah, I care about it a lot more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love your story, man. It's awesome. I think it's kind of like, it's like, further proof that you can really take your passion and do something with it, right? And
Yeah,
it's not like a passion that isn't in demand. People actually need your products and services,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
um so what's the future hold for you?
I think the future holds for me just saying it out loud, like a 2,000 plus square foot facility where we just bang out custom tables and other things like installs and things like that, and like cabinetry.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that stuff. I've done a couple built-ins, and I really enjoy that. But just really bringing some minds together with myself, and then creating like a line that people in the Midwest can come familiar with. Um, and there's people that like, and I know you said there's enough for everybody. Like where I'm from, and there's great people here, and it's not always about, I guess, like being the most known, but it's about finding your customer.
It's about finding your customer. Yeah, absolutely. There's more than enough products out there and more than enough customers out there, and not everybody, you know not everybody that would buy from you would buy from somebody else, right? And so, yeah, I love that mindset. How would you describe your customer, the people that tend to buy from you?
I would say my customer are, yeah, I guess my customer would be people that are, I hate to say it, looking for something like that's been mass manufactured, but with their own twist on it for their space. Um, Somebody that has maybe no creativity, but they got an idea of what they want, but they want something from their neighborhood. They want to kind of have maybe a story behind it, or they want to be able to say this person made it and it wasn't just dropped off here. They want that interpersonal connection. So I would say my customer is just a person who's kind of looking for something to kind of gather around. I mean, it can be anybody, honestly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Um, Derrick, this is awesome, man. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool what you built in such a. I know you've been doing it like part time, like side hustle for a couple years, but like to be able to just go full time and not look back, that's really impressive.
Honestly, it's
Um,
because I'm about to say it's because I feel like I was holding back the entire time. Honestly, I feel like I was just keeping the cap on the bottle, and that was honestly
mm,
frustrating me. To where I'm just like, man, I know I got to run in this meeting, but I know I could have got this done today.
yeah,
One of the guys you had on here really inspired me. Country Tables. I've taken so many things from him. Just when
yeah,
he was like, go to my page or go to my website, get my policies. You're gonna run into these things, and just seeing like how he kind of ran things, and then he said he averages like 0.75 tables a day or something. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Like, and then
yeah,
what?
yeah,
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 yeah. So and just figuring out a way to make it work and being creative with my marketing. I know there's a million people that are better than me, but there's not a million people that are going to be able to find their customer. Even at our meetup, I was listening to gentlemen that I know that can do all kind of cool joinery and stuff like that, but they don't know how to find their customer, and
yeah,
that's the biggest thing. And my ability to do that with using social media, I feel like has been probably one of my strongest points.
yeah, for sure. Um, awesome. So this is a part where I give you any marketing or business advice. So tell me, what do you need help with? What's a marketing business question you have?
Um, I would say I think my problem is too many options. Sometimes I probably need to get with you guys with the CRM that you offer. as far as being more organized and keeping customers inside that sales cycle and figuring out where they are. And then it would be, so the sales cycle portion of things. And then, like a website. I have my website, but there's too many options. So I wish I had some kind of drop down thing where I'm not going back and forth in conversations with people about different table types or maybe the wood options or leg options. I wish I create something where I can drop down. I know people only have 3 tags. Yeah, it's just so many things that you can offer. Like, how should I narrow down my options for people? Because I'm trying to catch everyone, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I think you might have heard me say this. I look at like the last 5 tables. So it's like a little Venn diagram. It's like, what do you sell the most of? What do you like to do? And in the middle is what gives the most profit, right?
Right.
And kind of zero in on that. Like, I think you're at a point now where you can probably put out some tables based off of other designs that you've done in the past and say, this is like my signature style, or I do these 3 tables, because that's how you're going to start to get a little bit more efficient, right?
Yeah.
Is because you know what kind of lumber it is. And so, like, whether it's give me an example of a table that you just recently did.
A red oak dining table.
Yeah. So, red oak. Did you do the elm? Did you do elm?
No, but like white oak too. I mean,
white oak, red oak, white oak. Especially like, Indiana, Midwest style, like red oak, white oak, ash. Like, if you could just narrow down those, and that you can bang those out, and you have 3 different sizes, right? 4 table, 6, 4 seat, 6 seat, 8, right? And then you have 3 different style of legs, right? And maybe 2 metal legs, right? That you could probably have on tap. Because I know you like to make your legs too, right?
Yeah, I like to get those.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably what, if you're feeling like there's too many options. But if you start going down that route with that, the positive side is you become known for something, right? The downside is, it could potentially get monotonous and tiring, but boring is what gets profitable.
Yeah, you're like, I can buy 20 million board foot of this, and I know
exactly. And then you get efficiencies, right? Like, you could just, because right? And so, and those types of wood, it's they're not the most expensive either.
Oh yeah,
right, but they're beautiful, and you can put different finishes on there that give each one some character, right? So you could probably get, I kind of like that idea, actually, if you get like you work with 3. So I have a client, and he only works with, like walnut, like redwood, spruce. Like, he does like everything that's in his state. That's it. You know what I mean? He won't import any of that, but like, you can kind of be known for, like your region and the native species there. And then you could probably even go deep with those species too, and the history and where the tree came from and that sort of stuff, to help further educate people. But I mean, I like that idea. So like 3 different species, 3 different legs. You have 3 kids. Like, just keep it simple. I mean, especially with you having a GC business, I think the more formulaic you can get with your, and I think this is for everybody that's listening, is, I found even in myself and in my marketing and business services, the simpler the offer, the more I sold. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, once you start like saying, I could do this and this and this and this,
like all these colors and all,
it's hard. And so, like, I like the tables, maybe a couple built-ins, right? Like, I like the tables. I like your accent walls. Like, that seems like a very profitable business, especially too, like, if you have visions of growing, you need to have a little bit of formula to your stuff.
Right.
The more custom you get, the less you're going to be able to scale.
Right. Yeah. Period. I mean, and I don't want to be one of those people that's like, I do 12 pieces a year, at a million. Like I like to get my hands dirty and like get stuff out and complete it and just make as many people as happy as possible. I really like that moment, getting things to people.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's anything else?
Oh, one thing I did want to just shout you out on is I saw how you usually post 3 ways to kind of fund your business. And you say grants, you say business loans, and you say saving. And you added me in a post about a grant, and now I'm in the finals to receive $10,000.
Let's go.
For my business. And that was amazing. So I appreciate you for putting me on to that and figuring out. I mean, I had to do the work. I got headshots done. I recorded the video.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, there's nobody that's done anything.
There's nobody. And that's the thing. Like, listen, Woodpreneur community. If you see a business grant, business competition thing, pitch competition, if you have a business and there's not going to be anybody just like you. You're going to stand out. Like I interviewed a guy a couple years ago. He went in a business plan, like Shark Tank style thing. He won $100,000 for his business. And he was going against like startups, like tech companies.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that simple. I mean, it doesn't have to be that sophisticated, rather.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So
dude, congrats, man. Fingers crossed you get that. I know you're going to get it. You're totally going to listen. This is what you need to do. You lock this up.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your Google reviews up, your Facebook reviews up, and start acting like you won in your, and like be a face of your brand, get in front of the camera on your socials much more. Because they're gonna be looking at your stuff. So you want to make sure that your reviews are up. You want to make sure that they see your face. That's it. You're gonna win. Yeah, dude. Listen, there's so much gold in my podcast. Like there was a guy. He was like, "Yeah, I was like, I took your advice on your thing," and he was like, "I applied for a grant. I'm buying an iDry kiln with the grant."
iDry, what is it, $100,000 or something?
Yeah, he got a grant from listening. Take action.
That's the first thing you said. You said you took action.
You took action. That's it. That's why I give away these ideas, because nobody takes action. Prove me wrong, and then you can hop on the podcast. So.
Right. Because I wasn't expecting to be here for another 365 days. Honestly, that was my goal. And
yeah.
And then it'll be nice to come back on again and be like, "Man, you were what?" And then now you were here. I'm like, "Yeah, here we go."
Cool. All right, man. Dude, thank you so much. Congrats. And good luck with everything. All right.
I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood, flooring, and sawmill industry. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating and review. You can also tap into our community by visiting woodpreneurlife.com. Once again, that's woodpreneurlife.com.